It's been more than 10 years since the mysterious Satoshi Nakamoto first created Bitcoin, the first and still the most popular form of cryptocurrency. Since then, more than 7,000 cryptocurrencies have become available to investors. Should you be one of them? Jeana Goosmann is the founding CEO and partner at Goosmann Law Firm in Sioux Falls. She's joining us to explain how cryptocurrency works through a system known as blockchain technology, how it could affect all our lives, and how Goosmann Law Firm can help you decide whether cryptocurrency is worth your time and investment. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about cryptocurrency.
Yeah, this is a tough thing to wrap your mind around if you don't know anything about it. I think I've been talking about or hearing about Bitcoin for a while, but I don't really totally understand it. So let's just start with, what is cryptocurrency?
Cryptocurrency is a form of digital currency. So it's different in that regard. You're not going to have an actual paper dollar bill tied back to it. It's a digital asset. And through that, you have a monetary value associated with that digital currency.
To me, it seems like, how do you create a form of currency, right? And people actually are creating these cryptocurrencies, and there's something there that doesn't quite click for me, right? Like, I can actually just create a currency?
That's right. You can create a currency. It's not tied back to a governmental entity, and it's out there on the internet, and people can use that blockchain technology to create their own currency. And there certainly are some that are more popular than others, and that's where we a lot of times refer back to Bitcoin, but not all cryptocurrency is Bitcoin.
So what does the blockchain technology really mean?
The blockchain technology means that it's a form of where they're able to put these digital assets together, and when they put them together, they wrap them in a digital way, and that forms an asset that is unique and identifiable only to that particular asset. So it can have a value associated with it, and that's how we're able to get the cryptocurrencies.
So if I am investing in cryptocurrency, how does that interact with my everyday life, my banking? How is it regulated through the government at all? Or if I want to spend it, what do I do? This seems like a very complex kind of currency.
Well, I think the complexity with it comes because it is so new, and a lot of the regulations haven't kept up with the technology yet. And the government is just in the process now of figuring out how are they going to regulate it and how is it going to be impacted. And certainly a lot of banks are now just starting to be able to hold it as a digital currency. And some of the different tools and techniques that we have through apps and the internet are now allowing us to be able to use this technology. And different businesses are saying, we'll accept these different cryptocurrencies in commerce. So as that is happening, it's just evolving very quickly. And the law and regulations are definitely changing fast.
And we've seen a lot of this cryptocurrency shoot up and be very valuable and then quickly lose value. And then we've seen other cryptocurrencies become even more successful. So when you're looking at something that changes so quickly and something that maybe hasn't really caught all the way up in everything that needs to regulate it, is that where actually working with a lawyer can be a big asset in terms of keeping your own investment safe?
Absolutely. So we monitor closely what the different laws are changing in the different states. In fact, we're right now in the process of starting to write some law for the state of South Dakota to be able to regulate cryptocurrency. And in that regard, I think it is important to be talking with your attorney everything as it relates to what taxes are you going to need to pay if you're making a bunch of money, or did you have some losses, and how is that going to be taxed? Or with your estate plan, if a large portion of your estate plan is held in cryptocurrencies, you're going to want to make sure that people know how to get access to those digital assets if something were to happen to you.
So if you are investing in cryptocurrency at all, really a good thing to bring up with your lawyer?
Absolutely a good thing to bring up with your lawyer. And we're seeing more and more people are having cryptocurrency holdings. And certainly there are a lot of people, too, that are making a lot of money in this area, especially as it relates to the volatility. Anytime things like shoot up really high, that's an opportunity, but they can also go down really quickly, as we saw Elon Musk sent out a tweet and it talked about the environmental impact of Bitcoin. And from that, there was a huge drop in the valuation. And so it really is a wild area right now. And I think it's something that people need to be knowing about. And at the same time, be cautious and careful if they aren't able to have a loss like that.
So if you are working with an attorney who maybe doesn't understand Bitcoin or doesn't specialize in this kind of blockchain technology and knowing all of this information, would this be a good thing to branch out on and seek specialized counsel?
Absolutely. So at the firm, we've focused for years on financial technologies, and this is an area that we're advising financial institutions on and really keeping current in this area. And as a result, we have a number of different lawyers that have spent a lot of time focusing here and actually helping to write the different laws in the different states and set up these institutions. And we'd be happy to help those folks.
The practice of law is really broad, so most lawyers probably haven't spent nearly as much time looking specifically at cryptocurrency to understand it as broadly as you do.
I think that's a fair statement, absolutely. And especially in an area like this where it's changing so quickly, the technology has changed as well as the regulations. The OCC is just coming out with new regulations. The IRS is saying that these things are taxable events. And I know a lot of CPAs even reached out to us this last year of how should we handle this on the tax return?
So how can this actually affect you as a business leader understanding cryptocurrency?
Well, I think as a business leader, if you're selling goods to the public or even if you're doing business-to-business deals, we're going to start to see cryptocurrency used more often in business transactions. So in some of the contracts that we're writing right now, we're allowing for provisions related to cryptocurrency. And then even as PayPal announces that they're going to be accepting different cryptocurrencies and different banks are accepting cryptocurrencies into the marketplace, you might be getting paid with crypto going forward.
And it's always good to be on the front of those. You know, I remember when different kinds of payments, Apple Pay first comes out and the businesses that accept it, that's where you go. So understanding that and working with a lawyer to be able to use cryptocurrency is probably a huge asset, especially this early on.
I think it is. And I think the more that you keep in front of these different issues, to me, it reminds me a lot of when social media was first a thing, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody was getting used to, oh, do you have a Facebook page as a business? And I think going forward, using cryptocurrencies and are going to become second nature to businesses. It's going to be another form of payment, and deals are getting done in that way. And certainly there's a lot of investment to be made and opportunity there.
That's a good analogy because I think we can all look back and say we didn't understand all the legal ramifications of social media when it first came out too. And don't we wish we had sought appropriate counsel in some situations?
Absolutely. And it's not unusual for the law to be behind the technology because technology changes so quickly and law is usually made pretty slow.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being the expert in it because it's stuff like this that you look at and you think, I want to get involved. You see such great opportunity, but if you don't have somebody who really knows what they're doing to make sure you're taking the right steps and watching it carefully, it can be a big risk. So I'm really excited. I'm glad you came and sat down with us today.
Thank you. I know people have kind of the fear of missing out and they don't want to be, left in the dust as it relates to cryptocurrency, but it is important to really learn and kind of wade in slowly and make sure that you're knowledgeable about these different areas before you just invest a bunch of money in something you don't understand.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Goosmann Law Firm is a full-service source for your legal needs. You'll find their Sioux Falls office at 2101 West 69th Street. You can set up an estate planning consultation with Goosmann Law by calling them at 605-371-2000. Goosmann Law Firm is now accepting new clients via telephone, Zoom, Skype, and in person. Contact them today. Don't forget, if you have more questions about blockchain technology, call Goosmann Law Firm today.